I guess to everyone, I'm Ada from Poison Rock, and I have really an honor to have with us, we can say, a musician that made the history of metal. We have Eric Forrest from former Voivod and E Force today. So I want to start first of all, how are you, Eric?
I'm doing great, Ada. Thanks very much for having me on here today.
It's
Really
a
appreciate this.
It's really a pleasure. Before speaking, because of course it's kind of an important year this year for Voivod, and I want to start to speak a little about how you, Eric, get in touch with music. So you wake up one day, okay, and you just choose to start playing an instrument, singing. What was that? I mean, how did you get in touch with music since you were a child?
Yeah. As a teenager, I remember going to a friend's place like back in '83, '84, watching Us Festival videos and lots of other videos, what I
Yeah.
won't get into. But I was just very fascinated. Like, yeah, I want to play in a band and rock and roll. And I saw Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance tour in Toronto when I was like 12, 13 years old, and I saw the bass player Ian Hill play. I was like, well, that's not too difficult. Yeah, I think I'll like to start with the bass. So I started playing the bass like September '84, and then was kind of a backup singer as I went, and then eventually became a lead singer as well as a bass player. And yeah, I was just fascinated by the whole thing. And I remember my mother bought me the bass, and she says, "Stick with this, son. Don't give it up." I'm like, "Oh, don't worry about that."
Your mom was like a big supporter.
Well, she's a little worried because my brother started playing guitar and he stopped after a few months, and I was like, don't worry, mom, I'm gonna do this for a long time. So
And you did.
I'm in 40 whatever years later, I'm still a teenager playing music in a sense.
We are all teenagers. Come on, age is just a number. That's what people say,
Exactly.
and I think
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah,
Yeah, and of course, I mean, at the beginning of your career, you joined Voivod for quite a long time. So, just briefly before, because I want to speak as well about E-Force and all what's going on today.
yeah.
How did you join Voivod? I mean, because Voivod it's like we're like a pillar of the on the metal scene.
Sure. Well, like I said, I started playing bass in '84, started playing clubs in '85, and played in cover bands and a few original bands for like 10 years.
Okay.
And an old friend, acquaintance in Toronto, uh, I auditioned for this band in Montreal called Saints and Sinners, and it's
Okay, I know
from
them. Yeah.
Mark, I think Rick Hughes from the band Sword. He was the
Okay.
singer, and I never got the gig, but it didn't really matter because it was kind of rock, Bon Jovi, Aldo Nova kind of thing. And but I met the I mean that stuff's good and that it's not really my thing to play, but I kept in touch with the manager at the time, Pierre Purdy, the ex manager,
Yeah.
and we did a show with the band Saints and Sinners and the band I was singing in called Thunder Circus in Toronto. And at the time, he was kind of fond of my ex girlfriend, kind of Pamela Anderson kind of girl, and he said to her, "Can you send me some photos of you? I can get you Playboy magazine." And I sent stuff with a demo tape and some stuff of what I'm up to. He said, "Hey, if anything's happening, let me know." And then he contacted me one day, maybe a few months later, and says, "I got a big band that are looking for bass player singer. Would you be interested?" And I said, "Well, who is this?" He said, "Voivod." I said, "Yeah, sure." So later that week, I went down and I auditioned for the band. This was in '94, summer of '94, and it wasn't learn this song or that. It was just come in, meet the guys, do a jam for like 20 minutes, and they said stop. Okay, that's it. You're in the band. I'm
That's
like, okay, pinch myself here. So it was kind of like that,
that's beautiful.
and it was I think they wanted like a young dude who was gonna follow them, and that's basically what happened. And it was always I followed the leader, which was Away and Piggy, of course, and
Yeah.
7 years later, things didn't go so well, and
But then
financially,
with
and
you started with your
Snake
own
wanted.
project.
Well, Snake wanted back in the band, and Jason wanted to work. Jason Newsted wanted to work with him because they'd, been friends from before when he was in Flotsam and Jetsam and in
Yeah.
Metallica. So it was kind of like Eric or the original singer and Jason Newsted.
Yeah.
So they basically said the band's over, and I didn't believe it for a minute, but it was kind of a nice way
to say, yeah, that's what kind of a life from them.
And hindsight, I would have done the same thing. There's no hard feelings and stuff
Yeah.
about that, and that's what became how that happened.
And then you started with a couple of years later, maybe you started eForce, which is your own project.
Actually, the day I got fired, I started eForce.
Immediately. But you released the
Yeah,
first album in
that
2003.
afternoon, I started putting music. Well, I already had music of my own going on the side,
Okay.
but I started taking it really seriously and found some friends in Montreal to, compose and create the first eForce record.
Yeah.
eForce is
eForce.
actually 20 years old this year,
Wow.
20th anniversary.
It's basically all anniversary this year. Not only Voivod,
Yeah.
but as well eForce too. You're planning something with eForces for celebrating this anniversary as well?
Well, actually, I on the last recent Voivod release, the Morgoth Tales, I believe. I sing a song off it because it's a re-recorded classics stuff
Okay.
and maybe one new song and a cover. And they contacted me last year and said, "Would you like to be on the album, sing a song from your era?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So that's what I did, and I recently joined them at the Hellfest last in June to sing the song.
Oh my god, I was supposed to be there. That's what a pity. I missed a lot. How was that?
Yeah, unfortunately, so I joined Snake on stage and sang the song "Rise" with them because they were playing it on tour and stuff. And I also joined them in 2009 and sang Travel Convictions at the Hellfest, which was really special. But this, time passed and
Yeah.
it's my turn again, and we're still friends. And
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm not in the band, but I'm still like the little brother in the band because there's a movie coming out, a documentary released next year, which I
About
did an interview maybe 4 years ago in Toronto for that, and there's a book coming out. So
okay.
it's going to be still part of the family in a sense, really.
Because of course, like you were saying, this is gonna be this release. There is a date announced for this release of the Morgo Tales.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
Sorry?
specific, if there is a specific date already settled for the release.
1st of July. It's already out in the stores.
Okay, but there will be some, I don't know, live that will be like some kind of launch party touring about this, and maybe you will join them for, I don't know, a special appearance in that.
Well, no, they were just on tour with Testament in
Okay.
Europe here, and they played the Hellfest, and I was singing in a couple cover bands there, and so I joined them on stage for that.
Okay.
And basically, for the moment, that's all it is. I mean, I keep asking, "Hey, when's the Voivod Newstead eForce tour?" Kind of like Halloween, reunite like, all the guys and stuff. But we'll see. Maybe they asked me to come in the 2nd of December to play a show in Montreal, but they're now changing mind because they're busy. But we'll see. Maybe and again, I'll
It's
see them
still
again.
something that is going to see with the time, like spontaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And about eForce, I mean, there is like 5 album released.
Yes.
And the last one was in 2021. I mean, speaking just a little about eForce, because it's I know that you have as well another side project, Failing Flesh.
Failing Flesh. That was a 3-album
Okay.
project in the States, but that's kind of stopped for the moment.
Okay.
It was never intended to be a band to tour or anything. Just 3-album project kind of.
A project. That's it.
It was pretty good. I was really happy with the performance and stuff. Great guys and great engineering and producing and everything. It was a great record. I don't know if you heard it, but great stuff. And so I've been doing the eForce thing for like 20.
So it's your main your main baby.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Voivod, my nickname, like Biggie Away Snake, my nickname was eForce. So I chose that to be my band.
Yeah, of course.
And it's been a hell of a ride, many member changes for this reason, that reason. But I'm actually going back to Canada next week.
Okay.
You're
currently located in France?
Yeah, Toulouse.
Okay, Toulouse.
And I'm going back for the second time to do a Canadian tour with my Canadian friends, and featuring Dan Lozon from Band called Entropy, who was on the first E-Force record, Evil Forces, and an old friend from back in '85, this guy Jim McLean from Mortal Annoyance, and the drummer Blake Mew from Entropy, who did the last Canadian tour that we did.
All Canada too, at the moment.
Well, we're going to do 9 shows.
Okay.
So it's like Toronto, Quebec, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, and some Eastern shows, but nothing West Coast or nothing.
Okay.
So we're just in the the Eastern part, really.
Okay, and I mean, from the last album, of course, it's normal that you notice. I mean, you have experience in the field, So it's kind of a silly question asking you how, in your opinion, changed E-Force since Evil Forces till the last album, like in the lyrics, in the I don't want to say, like songwriting and composition and mastering, because of course, being for a lot of years in the music field, there's nothing to grow up already. But like, how much changed in general, E-Force, from the first album until today?
Well, I think the first album was co-written by, say, 2 members, maybe 3.
Okay.
And the last 3 records I've done, I've composed all of it, all the music, all the lyrics, everything. And I even played guitar, the rhythm guitar in the albums, on the last one, and the Demonical album. But when you guitar plug I hear, he played a few tracks, but I did, I wrote the song, so it's kind of better I just play it anyway to get other people to do solos, because I'm no Yngwie Malmsteen, but I know how to write and play guitar, obviously. But yeah, I think just through the years, take what I feel and write, and about subjects, and just.
Of course.
I like to write songs where it's up to the reader to interpret what I'm saying, because it could be many meanings and many similar things that are related. It's just depends on the mindset of people, how they take it. Almost like some kind of Pink Floyd lyrics. You have to read between the lines a bit.
Yeah, and feel it, because of course, if you would think about Pink Floyd songs, you have to go really inside the song.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to listen and to understand. It's not for everyone. I mean, it's a muse, but it's not for everyone. But I mean, with all the E-Forces lyrics and albums and songs, but you think there's maybe one album or a couple of songs that captured the core of the sound, of the essence of the band itself?
It's hard to say. I mean, there's some really good tracks on each record. I guess it depends on who's listening, because somebody might be like this song or this one or just.
But I mean, from your perspective, like for example, the one you enjoy to play live, or the one that you think, okay, from my perspective, this maybe catch the sound of E-Force, that I think about it when I form it.
There's a song off the Modified Poison record called "Lobotomized," which is really defines E-Force.
Okay.
The last year, there's a video called "Hallucination," which is really up to date of what's happening. I guess there's a little more black metal involved, but it's hard to put categories on stuff.
No label. Just don't put a label in the music. I mean, it's just like it belongs to maybe when music was starting. Come on, black metal. I can go.
There's a song called "Provocation," which is the first song off the Mindbender record, which pretty much describes E-Force also. It's hard to say. There's many,
There's many, yeah.
I've had many different guests playing solos, from like Glenn Drover, ex-Megadeth, King Diamond, to a guy who's really well known here in France. This guy Vincent Agar was like a Yngwie Malmsteen clone, but I don't know, it's hard to say. Some people like this and that, but I guess those songs really.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because if you write it and compose it or co-write it, it's always like the essence and the core of you in the each songs and each albums. But you were speaking about collaboration. If I'm not wrong, you did a collaboration with an Italian band called Necrodeath, my homie. My good friends, for the last album. I mean, I want to point out that because I was with them to the release show of the album, and we did an interview about that album, and I mentioned, so now we do the same thing. We spoke. So there's kind of an
Yeah,
exchange.
they asked me to do a little French part, speaking a little part. I was actually there was a Necrodeath tribute album with other bands covering their songs, and I did one of their songs too on that one. The Masters of Morphine. That's probably
Master
one
of
of my
Morphine.
favorites.
Oh, that's a beautiful song. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Great video too. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a tribute album, and I said, okay, I want this one, and they said, yeah, I love it. So yeah,
That's
we're in touch. We talked about doing some shows together one day, but just hasn't worked out
amazing.
yet.
Yeah,
Maybe
that would
one
be
day.
amazing. That would be
Yeah,
amazing. And
because actually they played in the time we played in Sicile at a
e-
festival.
I think it was in, but that not in Palermo, was in Catania, on another opposite side of
Right.
Sicily.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they played here when I was still an organizer. So they played when for my birthday. Basically, they were my
Okay,
present. And
that's cool.
then you played here, and but I wasn't in Sicily back then. So, but I
Okay.
remember that. So we stayed friends since I was basically 21. Me speaking 15 more friends years of friendship. That's a beautiful, and
Yeah,
they are a good band.
because I met them that time, and we hanged out the whole weekend, and it was just like, hey, like good brothers, and maybe we'll do some stuff in the future again. Who knows? I hope to do some shows with them. We've been talking about it. It's just the whole promotion thing and the money issue and
Yeah,
the time stuff.
yeah. That's
It's
that's always the tedious part. Let's say.
about it. It's always the business side of it that's the
Yeah,
yes, no, maybe thing. But
yeah. But of course, I mean, and I want to ask if you just to just chill a little bit about the question. You toured a lot, I think, in your life, and you had a lot of session recording. There's some memories of all your career, like even one memories that you really cherish or you had fun about everything that you really like. Sometimes you remember and say that fuck was a beautiful moment, for example.
well, definitely one time in I should say one. I mean, many times Voivod. We got to play. I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a thing here.
Yeah.
We played with Iron Maiden, supported Iron Maiden 3 shows, and Ed Hunter Tour '99 in Canada. That was a real. Oh shit! What the fuck? This is real. And playing many festivals with those guys all over the world, with Therion, Neurosis, Overkill, some shows of Merciful Fate. That was a really high point in my life. But yeah, then the Maiden show at the Bell Center in Montreal, where the Montreal Canadiens play hockey. There was like 15, 20,000 people. And, it was really nice to see the guys and meet the guys. In fact, I met Steve Harris a couple times because he's played in Toulouse a few times with his band British Lion. And I remember the first time I went by in the afternoon, and I got a picture and a pen. And I'm doing this by the thing, and this guy comes over, and I go, "Hey, any chance somebody?" He goes, "Eric Forrest, Voivod." I say, "Yeah," and I go, "Hey, is it any chance I could say hello to Steve?" And he goes, "Yeah, hang on." He comes back. He goes, "Yeah, I'll be here in 5 minutes." I'm just like, "Oh fuck, no way, this is real." So he came over, spoke with me. Yeah, how you doing, mate? Cheers. So that was a moment, but. E4 stuff. I mean, since I lived in France since 2003, I've been able to play like 18 countries, maybe like 500 shows. And, it's kind of underground playing in front of 100 people. But when we're, in France or Italy or Romania, Czech Republic, whatever, it's the spirit, and that's what it is. It's not for the money, but
it's a lifestyle. Once you pick it,
yeah.
it's always stick with you for your life. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and go back to Voivod, man, we played in like maybe 24 countries. So playing in Australia, the Whiskey A Go-Go, the Roxy in Hollywood, CBGB's 2 times in New York City, England. It was phenomenal. It was a great experience, and a very happy and welcome, or happy. It's an honor to have done what I did, and to be able to still kind of continue with what I've been doing with E-Force. And of course, in E-Force, I still play Voivod songs, of course, from my era.
You have your own song as well now with the E4, so there are.
Yes, of course, but I still play, I've got a set, maybe 3, 4, or 5 songs by Voivod of the classics like the Insect and all that stuff. As I would want to see, if I go see Paul Di'Anno, I want to hear Iron Maiden, or they say the same thing, right? And so, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, generally, of course, it's one of the most common questions asked, but we have to ask, which are the main Eric influences? I mean, if you growing up had, you know, some kind of idol that keep you pushing through, like for the career of music, or some musician or genre or whatever, it could be even a book or a movie, I don't know, everything that influenced you, your way of singing or playing.
Speaking, speaking Steve Harris, a big influence, of course, Iron Maiden. uh, I'm a very big fan of the band called Warrior Soul.
Okay.
Corey Clark,
Oh,
master. Met him.
Warrior
Met him once.
Soul, you said? Warrior Soul.
Yeah.
First person that I heard mention this band. I love them. My God, love
One of my favorite
destruction.
bands ever,
Yeah,
ever. And I got to meet Corey and the bass player Chris from Scotland in Canada maybe 4 years ago, and it was so cool to hang out and go to the
yeah,
show. My guitar player I'm playing with in Canada in August, he knew the drummer who was filling in, so we got to hang out before the show. And I got a video. I can send it to you. We're playing "Love Is a Drug," "Love Drug" song from the
yeah,
get the album. But hanging out, having some drinks, and
yeah,
totally cool guy. Totally cool
yeah.
guy.
I
Yeah, yeah.
remember I was a teenager and I loved them. I loved that band. Then and it was a pity because it's a kind of, you felt like a bit of mixture because between the hard rock and the grunge era coming out. So
Yeah.
they basically choose a way. I mean, they had this kind of things of fixing in the between, so they were just there and not
Yeah.
getting down like a lot of other hair heavy like glam metal band, like say. They did it
Yeah.
well. They find their own way to be there, no matter what.
Yeah. I think personally the band should be huge, but they're not. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but they deserve
uh,
that.
one of my favorite songs is the spirit, the punk attitude. It's you know, Corey's a big influence in singing. I don't know if you noticed. My voice is a little similar to his because he's a hero to me. Well, they have a song "Hero" too, but anyway, yeah.
Good to know.
So that Iron Maiden, I liked early Metallica, Exodus, Merciful Fate, all that stuff. But Sabbath to whatever. But I also like a lot of '70s music, Deep Purple, AC/DC, Thin Lizzy, to
Tin Lizzy, yeah,
whatever.
I mean, just kind of a huge, a wide range of music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny because I don't really listen to thrash metal, death metal. I mean, I play the heavy stuff in E-Force and all that, but I don't really listen to all that stuff all the time. If I
Yeah,
want to hear that, I kind of play it, you know.
yeah.
Otherwise, I kind of like the '70s rock and some thrash and all that stuff. And but yeah,
I mean, and which are the actual plan of E-Force? Because of course the last album was in 2021. There is kind of working on a maybe new album and on 2024 in the following years.
yeah, I got about 6, 7 songs already demoed,
Okay.
but I have to buy a new computer to transpose the other thing to the other one. It's another long story. But like as I said, we're going to I shouldn't say we. I'm going to Canada next week, and we're going to do 9 shows, and we're
Okay.
playing. If you know if you see the T-shirt, Voivod Revisited.
Visited. Yeah, yeah.
So we're doing that, and then obviously adding in a few E4 songs from our 20th anniversary album, Evil Forces, and then I'm going to come back and see what's happening because kind of the members here in France kind of on a standstill, a bit of a limbo because of their other personal
Yeah.
work, survive, family, all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely going to have a new E-Force record out
That's right.
either end of the year or next year, and hopefully some good tours. I mean, this whole
Yeah.
COVID thing slowed everything down, and the market is very tough right now to hook up with agencies and to do this and do that because there's so many bands doing it for this or less money or whatever. But I still have the hope that it's going to happen and do some more shows. I'm just
Yeah, I mean,
happy to call my guy in Canada and say, hey, what do you think? I'll come back and do some shows. Like, yeah, cool. Within 2 weeks, we had good guarantees and playing. And it's weird. I'm from Canada, so I'm over this side of the Atlantic. You're not there for 20 years. Well, I did tour 4 years ago, but to go back is the demand. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm really happy to do that. And then we're going to see what happens later this year.
Yeah,
Next year for sure.
yeah. I mean, of course, COVID hit a lot of bands, but I think as well, that a lot of new people are starting to moving and getting back to what was back the normality back then. But anyhow, yeah, a lot of bands are in the game right now, but you are not just a new band. You come on, are from Eric Forrest. I mean, it's just a name. You're just. It's not
Thanks.
just. It's a little. Of course, it can be tough for anyone, but let's say you will probably be around and touring again in the following year in some festival. That's for sure. I mean, if
Absolutely.
Force arrived here in Palermo, that we don't have anyone playing anymore here, meaning that you're fucking big. So yeah.
Well, hey, if you know some promoters that want to pay for the airplane, I'll be there. We'll come for sure.
From Quebec or from France? From Toronto, from France?
No, from France to South to Italy.
I mean, and I think people here still remember that gigs. Yeah, I think people here still remember. I might know some people from the north of Italy more, but I think it's the same. They can attach it. Yeah, I'm more like a kind of dislocated in the north, located in the north mentally, because here people, the scene is a little bit dead.
Yeah.
So I choose to move and not to move, mentally move in the north or in Europe or worldwide.
Sure. I remember playing in Torino 3-4 times. Torino?
Yeah, exactly. Torino, yeah.
That and in Rome. He's there. It was kind of underground at the time. My drummer from Marseille did the booking, the contacts, but we're gonna get it going again for sure.
Yeah, I have some meeting in Milan in a new club. It's a kind of new club, I guess, because I never heard that before. You take just the number, the contact, and everything you needed, and just send it to you, and then.
Yeah, love to.
But that's a huge club there. I don't remember which bands play there, but that's like one of the most important nowadays, I think, in the north center of Italy, at least. And I really want to say thank you for this interview. It was really a pleasure to speak with you, and I hope to see you soon in live Europe, whatever, France, Germany, whatever, it's in Europe.
Yeah.
And I'll reach you. Just enjoy to coming back to Canada, which is a beautiful country. I only can imagine how beautiful it is. And enjoy those landscapes for me, please.
Sure. Thanks very much. Keep in touch. Let me know what's happening. You never know. Maybe promoter or this and that, or agency that wants to book 3, 4, 5 shows in Italy. It'd be great.
Yeah, of course.
French guys or new French guys or whatever, but it is what it is. I'm the E-Force guy, and so if I have different members in Canada, different members in Italy or France, it doesn't matter. Gonna play the music and.
Yeah, of course. It's not a problem. We're always gonna find a solution. So, but of course, I will keep in touch, posted for the interview, of course, when it will be released and everything. So, thank you so much, Eric. Enjoy the rest of the day, of the afternoon / evening, and thank you for everything. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.